And while the tears keep flowing, yep, it's me again. They hate us, this is why they give a fuck about us at the same time as always. I am your host, JD Miles. The MGTOWs they love to hate. Even the ones who claim everybody loves to hate them, loves to hate MGTOW at the same time as always. Which is why we got retarded fuck-ass crybabies wasting their Saturday, keeping us relevant to this day, and I'm back again. For tonight's topic of discussion, it's all about Melyssa Ford and women's issues. There's a reason why I'm naming the title of the video the way it is. Now, for those of y'all who haven't seen Joe Budden's podcast, I believe the issue was supposed to be about men's issues, something that has to be said. And yeah, I got to give a big shout out to Anthony Mackie. And for those who haven't seen Anthony Mackie's interview, I'll leave the link to his interview in the comment section. And while I'm at it, shout out to MTR Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. I'll also leave the link to his full video in the comment section as well. Go check them both out. But for those of y'all who haven't seen Anthony Mackie's interview, he was talking about how he was raising his sons, but more importantly, he brought up the issue. Just about everybody in these male spaces has been saying for years. The death of masculinity. And yes, even I knew for a fact it was going to come to a point in time to where this has to be talked about, not fucking ignored, not looked over. It has to be brought to the table, especially for those who want to resolve the issue here. No, not for the ones who wants to be the victim 24 hours a day, not for the ones who think censorship is the best solution. No, this has to be brought to the forefront. Oh, I love Saturday nights, don't you? But yeah, on a serious tip, this has to be brought up. And shout out to everybody who's bringing this up, because there is an attack on masculinity. You even got women out here who's on board with this. Shout out to them as well. But of course, you got dumb, bitter broads here, like Melyssa Ford, who doesn't want no one to talk about men's issues. And in this video, y'all gonna find out for yourselves. Especially when she's trying to divert the issue. And yeah, y'all gonna hear my take on it as well. But enough of me talking. Let's get down to business, shall we?
Joe Budden recently got into a heated conversation with Melyssa Ford on their podcast, and this idea of man versus bear, supplanted by Anthony Mackie's conversation in regards to men now lacking masculinity in modern times today.
In the past 20 years, we've been living through the death of the American male.
Come on.
They have literally killed masculinity in our homes and our communities for one reason or another. But I raised my boys to be young men.
Good.
However you feel about that, you feel about that. But my boys will always be respectful. They will always say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. No, sir, no, ma'am. They will always say thank you. They will always open the door for a lady. They will always make sure that their mother is taken care and provided for.
And shout out to Louisiana's own Anthony Mackie. Much respect. And yes, that's the same. The same way he's raising his sons, it's the same way I'm raising my sons too. Always be respectful. Always be respectful. Oh, no, learn how to step in when your father's not there. Take care of your family. Your family comes first. Let's continue.
They will always be men. And that's always since they were 2 years old. Every time I left for a job, I tell my 15-year-old, you're the man of the house. You make sure these doors are locked every night. This alarm is on. You text me or you call me every night before you go to bed and you wake up.
I love that.
Because we're men. If I'm not there to protect, he got to be there to protect. Because you can have all the money in the world, climb through the window. That money means nothing.
Yeah.
You can
Straight
have all the
up.
celebrity in the world, jump through the door. That celebrity means nothing.
Straight up.
So you got to have a little guard in there.
Let's get active on this.
Your daughter, your mom, your sister. We got that part. This conversation started and should end with men telling you about men and the erasure of men.
Yes.
You don't need to speak to somebody with a daughter to see how a man feels. Speak to a fucking man.
Go ahead, bro. Let
Facts.
No,
Please.
no, he just
Please continue.
He completely shut that down.
No,
Everything
you
that
can't,
I put.
no,
No,
ma'am.
because I can't respond to the Doge thing. I can't respond to the
You
bear
can
thing.
respond.
I can't because
Well, you shouldn't have to. We're not talking
it
about
all factors in. It does. My argument with
Melyssa Ford can't respond, or does Melyssa Ford don't want to respond? But yeah, we about to get down to this. Let's continue.
when you keep bringing up this bear shit, it's fucking pissing me off because you are being willfully fucking obtuse. All right, stay fucking there. You two, you have daughters. What is it that you are teaching your daughters in terms of when they go out into the world, how to conduct themselves? Only in terms.
What do their daughters got to do with men's issues? Yeah, they got daughters. What of it? What, you saying that they're being irresponsible parents, which of course would be rich coming from Melyssa Ford, who has no kids and not even a parent herself. But let's continue.
Of their sense of personal safety. Who do they need to keep themselves safe from? Who? And don't just answer the question.
People. Yeah, I was gonna say the world.
Okay.
The world.
Can you be a little bit more specific?
People, like you said, it's
Okay,
not.
so
It's
what-
not. It's I get where you trying to go with that. I'm not sitting there. I mean, I'm not at that point yet, but it's not. Hey, look out for men. Look out for boys. No,
I can
it's
answer
look
that.
out for people.
Okay.
People are
and I'm
fucked
just
up out here
and I'm
today.
just asking you two specifically.
Wait, hold on. I have a 15-year-old
Yeah,
daughter.
he can answer better than
I have a 15-year-old daughter. I tell her to be on the lookout for people, jealous girls, but I also tell her to be
Fair.
on the lookout for older men that's trying to prey on younger girls,
Okay.
offering rides and stuff like that. Is
Okay.
that what you're getting at? I
You hear that? And you're hearing this from a man who has a 15-year-old daughter. No. He ain't telling his daughter to just not only look out for men, and who's out there conniving and doing all this fucked up shit. But guess what he also said? He's also teaching his daughter not to mess with these grimy women either. And yes, it's true. It's sad that these young women, it's sad that everyone's expecting this from the fellas, but from as far as we've been seeing and everything, these other females out here don't mean them no good either. So no, this ain't gonna be one-sided. We ain't gonna sit here and pretend like this shit is all one-sided. Let's continue.
I tell her that, but that's what you learn in growing up, and that's that some men do that.
No, and that is fair. And
Okay.
that is accurate. I can tell you stories of when I was 11 and 12. No, that 8. We had a handyman that used.
Yeah, that's right, fellas. When it comes to Melyssa Ford, Tupac was 100% correct. It's all about you one time. Every city we go, any other way, it's all about you. No matter where I go, I see the same hoe.
Man that used to come to the house. And one day my father was just like, my parents worked. And my dad was literally like, he's coming to the house. Just give him the money for the work that he did, blah, blah, blah. He came to the house. I was there alone. He was drunk and he tried to do some shit to me. It was fucking terrifying because I'm in my own fucking house and this is somebody that my parents fucking trusted. And he came there drunk and it was really fucking bad. That is just one experience.
It seems like they're arguing two completely different things. Joe is talking about the lack of masculinity and being able to talk to boys and men in regards to that. While on the flip, Melyssa Ford is talking about that there's a certain subset of men out there that are hurting women. Both of those things are true, but only one addresses Anthony Mackie's comments. And in fact, if you do address Anthony Mackie's comments in regards to masculinity, manhood, how to be a man, structure within that, then you would have less men doing what Melyssa Ford is saying that they do. But I find it rich that you have a woman that made a career off of utilizing her body in a sexual form to make money, to get rich, while also shaming men for liking it or participating in it. In fact,
and after doing further research and analysis, that is actually true. Before Melyssa Ford was part of Joe Budden's podcast, Melyssa Ford used to be what they call a video vixen. And Lord knows what she's been doing in order to be one of the ladies in these rappers and singers music videos. I'm not going to get down to the details of it because even I don't know. And to be honest, I don't even want to know. But yeah, the irony is she used to be in the same career that she now wants to complain about. And secondly, not only is she trying to make it about her, but she wants to talk about women's issues. But last time I checked, I thought they were supposed to be talking about men's issues. And on top of that, why she's trying to make it be about why is Melyssa Ford trying so desperate to change the subject, especially in regards to women's issues, in which for the past several years we've seen all these laws coming into place, everything that should help women out. From International Women's Day to the Me Too movement, y'all can't tell us that these women still having issues to this very day. In fact, it's now down to a point to where these women nowadays want to forever be a victim. Yes, you heard Uncle JD loud and clear. They want to be forever victims. Even down to a point to where they want everybody to disregard men's issues and just stay focused on women's issues. And no, Melyssa Ford ain't the only one. When I be on YouTube, every time someone brings men's issues to the table, there's always some bitter broad, either in the comment section, in these live stream hangouts or in podcasts, who always want to divert from the issue at hand to make it like, oh, but what about the issues women have? And it's down to a point where everybody just don't want to hear it anymore. Forever victim is her name. But let's continue.
in fact, what she has participated in aids in the erasure of masculinity.
There's so many more that I can talk about that happened before the age of 16 years old. The reality is that you can be in the safest environment and still there will be a situation that unfolds that where you need to teach your daughters to be careful of predatory boys and men. And I'm not talking.
Okay. Excuse me 1 second. Oh my fucking God. Let's destroy Melyssa Ford on this retarded fuck shit. You see, Melyssa Ford wants the situation to be completely one-sided. We need to teach our daughters to be careful and beware of predatory men and boys. Okay. But it seems Melyssa Ford's argument is completely one-sided. And Uncle JD will tell you why. Yeah. For those of y'all got daughters out there, you got to teach them about predatory men. But what about our sons? What about our sons? Because unless Melyssa Ford been hiding her ass under a rock, guess what? You also got predatory women out here too. We're gonna bring equality all up in this. Yes, I said equality. And it baffles the shit out of me. It's always a big deal when it comes to men predators. And I'm not making light of the situation. I'm not making light of it either. But yeah, you do got predatory men out there, but let's not sit here and pretend as if there are no predatory women out here either, especially when we've been bringing these issues out to the forefront. And word is born on that. Let's continue. Then again, let's not continue just yet because all jokes aside, what I'm about to say right here, from what I heard from Melyssa Ford, and after all that I heard, I can honestly say Melyssa Ford is still in her place. Melyssa Ford is still suffering from her childhood trauma, her childhood abuse. And once again, let me go and tell these retarded fucks this. I'm not making light of it. But let me go ahead and say this as well. I deal with people that had to go through hurt, trauma, abuse, that type of thing. I'm from that same category. I deal with people. I end up having to deal with people with situations such as that. And yeah, it's fucked up that it happened. It's fucked up that it happened. I will say that. No one has to go through it, especially a child. But it's going to come a time and a point where you have to heal. And yes, I don't give a fuck who gets pissed off when I'm about to say next. I believe Tyler Perry said it best. Forgiveness is not for your abuser. Forgiveness is for you. And far as we know, what are they doing? We don't know. But as long as you keep that hurt inside you, the more you refuse not to heal, it's gonna eat away at you. In the worst case scenario, you might end up hurting yourself because you can't let go of your past hurt and trauma. And we all heard that saying, hurt people hurt people. And before you hurt others or yourself, start your healing process. In fact, I pray for healing. But I'm going to leave it there. Let's continue.
Not talking about people.
I know.
Because
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Just wait 1 second. Anything can happen.
That story about the handyman, was your dad there for that?
No, he wasn't. He was at work. It was during the day. It was like noon or something like that.
Man,
Okay, now hold on.
There are systematic efforts that are out there to discredit and silence.
I'm not talking.
But you have to acknowledge that too.
I'm not.
Man, wait. Listen, you should acknowledge the fact that there is a movement to discredit the black man, to discredit men.
The straight black man.
The straight,
Not just black man, the straight black man.
Online, they're showing that women have all.
I will even go the extra mile and say all men in general. Yes, black men especially, but all men in general. Let's continue.
This power and women are in control of the home and the black men are not here to take care of their children.
Different.
Legislation with?
Legislation that's being passed, Roe v. Wade being overturned, the anti-abortion laws.
What does Roe v. Wade and anti-abortion laws got to do with men's issues? Damn, Melyssa Ford is all over the place.
There is literally...
We're talking about social media that's being fed to our children.
Okay.
And now if you go on here, it's always something to discredit the black man. Mm-hmm. You know that and I know that. So that's what the point we're getting at is that there's something that's going on. Not taking away that there's not... We know that there's predators out there. We know that there's men out there that take advantage. Mm-hmm. But there's also a lot of great men out there that take care of their family, that provide for their children, that protect the home. And that's not being highlighted.
Exactly. And no, we're not going to sit here and pretend like women can't be predatory as well. Now notice Melyssa Ford. Melyssa Ford is about to get her feelings and emotions all up in this. Yes, she wants to bring her feelings and emotions into a logical conversation.
In no way, shape, or form am I denying that at all. I'll highlight it as much as possible.
You don't when you say I'd rather be around a bear.
Oh my God. Right. Literally.
You don't though when you say that.
Stop. Because the fucking bear is literally just a fucking extreme metaphor.
Feelings. They're always in their feelings. No doubt. And on top of that, why is she yelling? No one knows why she's yelling. Just to get a point across. But this is what happens when you bring emotional into a logical conversation. Let's continue.
Metaphor for the high incidence rate of sexual assault against women and girls. That's it. It is a metaphor.
Against women and girls. Yet the conversation is about men's issues. Melyssa Ford. No, this is what you want the conversation to be, Melyssa Ford. And this is exactly what we talk about. Every time someone brings up men's issues, there's going to be some bitter broad coming in to talk about, oh, but what about women's issues? And they wonder why these men ain't trying to listen. They wonder why these men ain't trying to hear it. Say trying to go off on men can be predators and shit, yet women can be predators too. And no, predatory behavior is not limited to just gender. Not just one side does it, both sides do it. Off the gate. But we got Melyssa, forever victim Ford, trying to divert from the subject at hand. Let's continue.
for. Get over it, okay?
No.
It has nothing to do with the erasure of the concept of the straight fucking man. It has nothing to do with it. It has to do with sexual assault.
Melyssa
That
Ford.
is it. That is it. That is all.
So emotional.
That is it. That is all.
Hold on, please let me get this one word, please.
Anthony Mackie was talking about raising sons to be men, strong men within society. You're coming at this conversation of attacking a certain subset of men through whatever trauma that you've experienced. There were men that are bad people, but then there's also women that are bad people.
New tonight, more teenage students.
Exactly. And yes, $100 million move right here for MTR. Let's listen to this, fellas.
Students in Morgan County are now coming forward, and they're accusing a former teacher of sexual misconduct with a minor. Ashton Heckman is in Morgan County to explain why the prosecutors are now looking to bring even more charges against this woman.
31-year-old Brittany Fortenberry has been held here at the Morgan County Jail since her arrest last month on charges of sexual misconduct with a minor. Since then, 5 new victims have come forward with additional allegations. Prosecutors have asked to file up to 24 additional criminal charges against her, including 10 counts of child molesting, sexual misconduct with a minor, and 13 other charges for disseminating material harmful to minors and contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
This happens.
Oh, but only men can be predators. Only men predatorize children. Well, by the looks of that mugshot, that does not look like a man. That looks like a woman. And on top of that, keep this in mind. 2 years ago, you had 10 female teachers, all accused of molesting and indecency acts with minors. They're underage male students. So let's not pretend this shit is one-sided. And while everybody's so up in arms and focused on men being predators, guess what? You got women being predators out here as well. But here's what makes me sick to the fucking stomach. You got retarded fucks out there sitting there trying to enable. Yes, you heard me. You got them out there enabling and condoning this shit. But let it be a grown-ass man, a grown-ass male teacher doing this to their female students. They won't have that same energy. Oh, but because it's a female doing this to our young male students, somehow that's different. Somehow, we need to look at it differently than the other way around. Somehow it's okay for them to do it. These young men are getting experienced. And boy, do they get triggered and emotional when people go right back around and tell them, what, are you a pedophile as well? You a sympathizer? You a fucking sympathizer? You're encouraging this, right? So you must be into it. Oh, you're not into it, but you're condoning it. If you're condoning the shit, then you're part of it. That's all I can say. And yes, I am speaking as not only a MGTOW, but a father as well. Let's continue.
This happens on both sides of the coin. This is being reported as of 2 days ago, but unfortunately, these stories don't reach mainstream media to the degree of if the teacher was of opposite sex. But leveraging the ridiculousness of a man versus bear example does nothing more than to bring truth or reality to the current situation. And in fact, forces more division.
And we don't have to yell and get hostile here.
Okay,
We don't have to
you're
do that.
right.
Yeah, exactly. Get the hell out your feelings. All that yelling and being emotional over something that has nothing to do with the conversation at hand. Let's continue.
Right, but I'm very frustrated by the way that conversation has been handled over the course of months over here, especially for somebody who has literally experienced it more times than I care to count.
Forever a victim. That's what it seems. She can't get by her fucking past. And this is what it seems. Forever a victim, forever a victim. It's like a dream. Forever a victim is what it seems. Oh my God. Again, she hasn't gotten over her hurt. And all this talk, and it's also ironic too, because all this talk about red pill raging, you got females out here raging just like this as well. It's time to heal. Let's continue.
I'm going to say this in closing because I feel like we have rehashed the bear conversation a bunch.
That's true.
But if the bear conversation is being had through the lens of only sexual assault victims and victims of sexual violence, then you have now answered a question while erasing the rest of the field of men, good men, cornerstone men, legacy building great men.
Yeah.
You are erasing that and answering the question through the lens of trauma and pain and horrible experiences with men. So when you hear Mackey describe what it is to be a man, where is the confusion at? We're not talking about men that do that. We're talking about men, and men should be acknowledged.
Because because the two things have nothing to do with each other.
No, her not understanding that is the issue.
Listen, all right, look.
No, MTR. Let me rephrase that. Her not wanting to understand the issue is the reason. No. It's not because she doesn't understand. It's because she doesn't want to understand. And this is how a forever victim acts. Oh, what you say don't matter. Don't matter at all. It's all about me. It's all about what I go through. And yes, as I stated in many videos before, it's funny how they don't give a fuck what other people go through, while at the same time they expect for everybody to be so concerned about what they go through. And they wonder why nobody gives a fuck. They wonder why nobody cares. How does people like Melyssa Ford expect people to care about what they go through when they don't give a shit about others? A question that has yet to be answered. Let's continue.
Look, so just wait.
Directly related.
I'm done.
The idea...
Because she's not going to get it no matter what you say.
But you don't get it.
But you don't get it.
You don't get it.
Loud, wrong, and strong.
Do you feel like you're part of the...
Loud, wrong, ain't saying nothing, needs to shut the fuck up forever. Let's continue.
problem because you also highlighted that pressure could be too much for the 15-year-old son. That's the first thing you went to.
We are going all over the
I'm just saying
place. Listen, whoa. Just...
The irony of that statement. Oh, we're going all over the place. This coming from the same Melyssa Ford, who's trying to divert from the issue at hand to what she wants to talk about. But this is the same one that's saying, Oh, yeah, they going all over the place. The irony of that statement. Let's continue.
Oh, just one second. Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. He brought up the bear. He brought it up. Okay. This wasn't even part of the fucking conversation right now. Okay. That was just throwing a fucking monkey wrench into the conversation about male masculinity. We're not, that has...
And once again, Melyssa Ford just made an absolute clown of herself right now. Oh, now she's concerned about people talking about men's issues. In the same breath, she's trying to make it be about women's issues. She's trying to make it be about her past childhood hurt and trauma. Now she wants to talk about men's issues. What a fucking hypocrite. Let's continue.
That has nothing to do with the fucking bear.
Got it.
That was
it
not
has everything to do with the erasure of men and what it is to be a man.
Look.
And that's a man telling you.
No, just wait 1 second.
But even that, a man can't tell you nothing.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
Nope.
Facts. Now, what has Uncle JD said? What has Uncle JD said about people who hasn't gotten over their hurt, their trauma, their abuse, what happens in the past? And what's more, neither Joe Budden or the other host didn't cut her, but look how much she's bleeding on them. There's a reason why, what's her name? I forgot the name of this artist, but she made this song. Mistreated, can't get by yesterday. Come on, Melyssa Ford. Why be defeated? Why let life slip away? Get up and get yourself together. And yes, that song is not just no song. That song is telling y'all, stop living in your past trauma and your hurt. Sooner or later, you're going to have to heal from it. Forgiveness is not for anyone else. Forgiveness is not for your abuser. Forgiveness is for you. They moved on with their life. You're the one still holding a grudge, still holding your hurt and trauma over it. It's time to heal. And as I say before, I work with many people who dealt with hurt, trauma, especially back in their childhood. And I help them through it. Some is now living their best life. You even got others who's now devoting themselves to helping others who's in that situation heal, as well as you got others who are now devoted themselves into protecting the young and innocent from these predatory motherfuckers out here. They're not still dwelling in their hurt like Melyssa Ford. They healed, and now they're living the best life, and I wish them the best. Let's continue.
There was this case that just unfolded in France, and her name, and the woman's at the helm of this case, her name is Giselle Pellicot. Mm-hmm. She was 70 years old, mm-hmm. and her husband spent the better part of a decade drugging her and advertising to men to come over and sexually assault her. And she did not know it. And do you know who these men were? There was like 50 of them, 51 of them got, some form.
Now let me counter her story with this story. You got mothers out there selling their children to predators. I shit you not, go look it up. Where is she going with this? Oh, that's right. She's steady trying to make it seem like only men are predators, when in reality, predatory behavior is not limited to just one gender. Both genders are guilty of this. Let's continue.
Some form of, I don't know, punishment, legal punishment. Mm-hmm. These men were doctors, plumbers, lawyers. They were family men. Mm-hmm. They were grandfathers. They were all the things. The whole point is that there is no face of a predator. There's no face. There is no look. There's no nothing. You can't tell. So when women are talking about sexual assault, it has nothing to do with, be afraid of, men because they're just scary. It's just there's no picture as to what a predator looks like.
Now Melyssa Ford is just doubling back on her words. Oh, she now goes from men and boys are predators to now saying predators have no face. God damn it, you can't make this shit up. Say one thing and then say she says one thing and say a whole nother thing completely. Oh my Jesus Christ.
Like, the predator can look like your next door neighbor. The predator can look like your fucking father. The predator can be your uncle, can be your brother, can be anybody. That's the whole point. Which is more.
Yeah, just like a predator. Yeah, you're right about one thing. Your predator could be a neighbor, but guess what? A predator can be your fucking mama. A predator can be your aunt. A predator can be your sister. So no, once again, Melyssa Ford is trying to make this shit be about gender. She's trying to make it seem like, oh, this is one-sided. Only the men do it. The women do it too. And we got a truckload of evidence on that shit. But again, Melyssa Ford is in her forever victim complex right now. Let's continue.
More reason for Anthony Mackie to describe what raising a man looks like.
Absolutely.
Can I say something to you, Joe?
Because the concept is that you build a society of upstanding, virtuous, valuable men, then that won't occur. Because it won't even be in the thought process or the option shit to do truly evil shit like what you are speaking about. Would fixing that problem rule this out 100%? No. People are going to slip through the cracks. I mean, there's been a polio vaccine for over 100 years now, and people still catching polio. But men taking back what it means to be a masculine man and disseminating that information to young boys is the vaccine to fix a lot of the male issues that are occurring.
And that's a fact. And this is what they failed to comprehend. With men teaching their sons how to move out here, how to strategize, how to make best decisions, you wouldn't have men out here with this sick ass mindset. And this is what she fails to comprehend. Out the gate. Let's continue.
The man versus bear conversation and your reliance on why bears would be safer than a man does nothing to fix the situation. But Anthony Mackie talking about we need to rewrite masculinity, we need to do it better. Here's the structure that I'm laying out for my boys so they understand what's important. That will.
Here's my thing.
Yeah, agreed.
Here's my thing. That's really we are so used to looking down upon black men. Not saying you're doing it, but people is, because the first thing you said, and I said this when he said about what he's teaching his 15-year-old son is that you made an excuse by saying that.
It's not an excuse.
Do you think
I asked a question?
Do you
Up there, and there she goes again. It's all about Melyssa Ford. It's all about you. One time.
asked the question? Sorry, ma'am. Saying that. Do you think it may be too much pressure on this child?
Do you want to know why?
We don't think that.
Do you want to know why I asked that?
We teach our boys.
Do you know why?
I want to know why you.
This is why I asked it.
Yes, ma'am.
Simple reason why. Because as Black people, Black women, Black men,
yes,
we are forced to grow up a lot faster than we should.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We are looked at as more mature than our years actually, dictate.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. I was able to see images and videos of you probably way before. There go the smooth hypocrisy in her statements. You participate in an industry that potentially opens up the gateway for young men and women to watch a woman be overtly sexual, yet now you chastise that we grew up too quickly. I agree with what you're saying, but your past video vixen lifestyle contradicts what you're saying.
And that is unfair.
And that's a fact. How are you going to lecture people about something that you contributed in? Is beyond me. And to be honest, there's nothing more that can be said about it. You contributed to the problem. Now you're trying to chastise others about the problem that you contributed instead of being against. Really, really.
Unfair. That's unfair to both Black female children and Black male children. They should be able and they should be allowed to have a childhood, a full childhood. That was the only reason why I asked.
And why they didn't get a full childhood. No, Miss Melyssa Ford. We're not going to gloss over this. We are not going to gloss over this. Why these children that you're talking about, why they didn't get a childhood? I'll wait.
Had nothing to do with him making a poor decision.
I do get that because on the flip side, the flip side of that be the girl that is maybe 13, 14, and you got to take care of your siblings now.
Yeah.
You're being forced to be
because
society. That's some of the positions that society afford to people.
And I understand that. But Anthony Mackie is very, very rich. He has a lot of money. He has a lot of access to things. I'm just talking about him specifically. Okay, I'm not talking about, say the single mom who's got several children and she's got to work 2 jobs. And yes.
What the fuck does Anthony Mackie being rich got to do with this? No, I'll ask the question again. What does Anthony Mackie being rich got to do with this? Oh, it's because he's rich? What she's trying to say? Oh, because Anthony Mackie is rich, that's why he's doing what he's doing. I know men who are poor that does the exact same thing. What a sad, pathetic attempt of a reach. Let's continue.
Then she relies on her children, and I understand that. I'm not talking.
Is that an exception? Do you give that an exception?
And I will give him that he could be considered an exception to the rule. That was the only reason why I asked that question, and it had nothing. And it had nothing to do with the concept of masculinity being bastardized or forced upon him too early. No, it's just like he's still kind of a kid. And he should be able to be a kid. That's the only reason why I asked it.
Do you know what it's like? In closing for me?
Again, a young lady dictating to a man how a man should raise a boy. I completely and utterly disagree with her. At what point?
Same here. And on top of that, this is the part where Melyssa Ford needs to have several seats and shut the fuck up forever when it comes to parenting. Need a reminder. Melyssa Ford is not a parent. She don't have children. So who the fuck is she to tell anybody who is a parent how to raise their fucking children. And yeah, I said it and I meant it. Fuck anybody's feelings who are mad at this shit. Joe Budden is a parent. Other men are parents. I'm a fucking parent. And we damn sure don't need Melyssa Ford to tell us how to parent our children. In fact, Melyssa Ford needs to get kids of her own damn self and learn how it is to be a parent. And this is why I don't fucking listen to people who wants to talk about shit that they have not experienced for themselves. If you're not a parent, don't talk to me about parenting. If you don't have kids, don't talk to me about raising kids. You don't have that fucking right. Let's continue.
What point, if it's not 15 years old, that you're trying to give them duties of a man, at what age should it be? In 3 years, they're considered a man. At what age? You tell us. But you know what? It won't matter what you say because your experience come from the trauma that you've experienced and not necessarily in the type of actions that it would take to make a stronger generation of men. But it's clear to me, and I've had these particular talking points before, is that, listen, women who lead this conversation with the man versus bear, who lead these kind of conversations on what a real man is or how a real man should conduct themselves, and they do it from a place of trauma, which she obviously has demonstrated within this, no wonder why they end up being lifelong single. Because no matter what it is, they look at the context of what's happening in front of them with a man, with someone that they're dating, with their trauma, within a negative context. Shout out again to Anthony Mackie, and I can tell that his comments going viral to the degree of what they did continues to demonstrate how messed up this community actually is.
And that's true. Plus, and let me go ahead and add on to what MTR is also saying here. What Melyssa Ford is doing is going to be will be the same exact reason why men are not going to take women's issues seriously. Then again, I'll go the extra mile and add women into that too. They're gonna stop looking at these females as a goddamn victim. They're gonna stop giving a damn about women's issues, especially if they ain't gonna give the men the chance to express their issues. And yes, as I stated before in the beginning, men's issues needs to be talked about. No, not just women's issues, men's issues as well. And the fact that she doesn't give a damn about that's going to make men stop giving a damn about what women go through. Basically, what people like Melyssa Ford is trying to do, she is trying to throw a monkey wrench into a future solution to a problem most people are complaining about. A problem that 9 times out of 10 can benefit her and women like her. But no. It's all about Melyssa Ford. It's all about what women go through, fuck what men go through. And how you think men are going to react by that. But everybody wants to cry and bitch about misogyny and men hating women. Well, what she's doing ain't making shit any better either. Out the gate. And I'm going to stop it right here. If y'all want to watch MTR's video in its full entirety, I'll leave the link in the comment section. Go check it out. Tell them JD Miles sent you. And shout out to MTR for bringing this to our attention as well. And yes, I will also post links to Anthony Mackie's interview in the comments section as well. Go check it out too. But with that, I said what I had to say. I'm done with these forever victim, bitter ass broads, and I'm out this bitch. Later.